I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Off7. Today I got a special guest. During this COVID crisis, I've been locked up inside and I've been checking out some other, I guess you could say progressive or other different, YouTube channels that are similar to mine as in terms of their focus. And this guy is a very cool guy that I ran into, so I'm going to let him introduce himself. So tell us a little about yourself. Who are you?
Yeah, my name is Nick. I'm known as the progressive martial artist on YouTube. Most people know me from my Twitter, Fly Tie MMA on Twitter. Just like you said, I'm a progressive martial artist. I'm a citizen journalist, and my main focus is fighting against the corporate establishment, having a grassroots movement that bring the power to people. So that's kind of the theme of my Twitter, my YouTube page, and obviously, just like my name said, I'm a big martial artist as well. But MMA be on lockdown, but we have big fights coming out this weekend, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, snap. Okay, that's cool, man. I'm definitely going to ask more about the martial arts in a moment, but I just want to ask you a little bit more about what are the current goals for your channel right now? I know you said to fight against corporate power and things like that, bring justice back to the world. Any other particular things coming up for your channel? You planning on branching out more into this MMA stuff? You're going to be doing stuff with that?
Yeah, I have a few plans in development right now because my friend is starting a media company as well. I have another friend who has a podcast in development. So I have a lot of plans on having him on as guest. My plan for my podcast to start off with was, like I said, I'm a citizen journalist. So I was in South Carolina. I was interviewing with people and I was talking to people on the street as well. I had one video where I was talking to a guy that I met that was my Lyft driver. But my goal of my channel was to be kind of showcase my activism. And honestly, that kind of got derailed because of current events, because of COVID-19. So that really limited a lot of the activism I had planned. Like I had plans to go to Illinois, Ohio, to help out the Bernie campaign and continue to canvass and talk to people about some issues.
Well, check it out right here. Yeah. We might be able to do something, you and me together, because actually I have, I don't know if you're seeing any of my podcasts, I'm still kind of small, but there's a lady named Lisa who I work with regularly. She's from Los Angeles, so she's doing things over there. We got another guy who's coming on soon. His name is Owen. He's from Connecticut, I believe. So we're actually talking to people around the nation. I actually have a small network of people that I met from the campaign, just like you probably met some people in Carolinas. You're in Missouri now, right? So you already have
yeah.
And honestly, we can coordinate some of our activities and continue the activist movement, in different ways, in ways that, we might not have time to before. So I'm super excited. I think this is a brand new opportunity. Look at this connection we're making right now. This is amazing.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great because that's what this said. That's what I've been telling people. This movement it's never been about Bernie. It's never been about one guy. It's never been about one leader. Now that we connected, we're together. Because when I was in South Carolina, I met a lot of great people. I met a lot of great people on Twitter, and we're connected, and we've been in this fight for a while. So I appreciate you reaching out to me. So now, once again, it's just someone else that we can coordinate with, because divided we conquer, right?
Yeah, and I agree with you so much, because now this is what I really like about this guy right here, my man over here, the progressive martial artist. I like martial arts too, by the way. So what I really like about it is the fact that he does the work on the ground. So people who do work on the ground, what happens is that you realize that in order to get these things passed, it's not about having a savior figure, and yeah, of course, Bernie's pretty cool, I was more supporting Tulsi Gabbard, but I still like Bernie, right? He's very progressive and he's got a lot of very cool ideas. Tulsi's also a martial artist too. Did you know she did capoeira and stuff like that? Have you seen those videos?
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that she's a martial artist too.
Yeah,
I met her.
Cool, yeah.
I don't know if you saw my video, but I actually met her.
I did see that one. Yeah. I did see that one. Yeah. So
It's still crazy. It's still crazy that I met her.
Yeah, that was cool, man. Yeah. So the thing is that, right, people like that who do actually the work on the ground, you begin to realize that it's not really about the candidate so much themselves, but about the people that candidate represents. So, the movement has to be behind him. If Bernie Sanders is just, anybody could say anything, right? But how many people does he have behind him? How much political, backing does he have? It's really us on the ground that have to provide that support. So, it's not even fair to Bernie to just say, hey, take care of all of our problems. We have to have some agency here. So I love people that actually do the work on the ground. So actually, that brings me to another question, right? I see you started your channel about 3 months ago, right? So that would be probably maybe, what, like around February? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So has your perspective changed since starting your channel?
And in what way will you? Are you
Well,
saying
like
like in terms
the
of
thing is
media
that, right, like you
production?
had certain having the channel, right, and traveling, right.
Mhm.
Maybe some people from Missouri won't get to travel, so you get to see things like how things are
Yeah.
operating in different states. Or I don't know if you got that link that I sent you about like Fiorella, about how she was saying like the campaign was possibly sabotaged or things like that, right? Or maybe you saw like the way that people in maybe the minority community in Missouri is different from the minority community in the Carolinas, or
Yeah.
there's all kinds of different, yeah, or general
Yeah.
perception, or
Absolutely.
yeah,
Oh, I'm actually very poorly traveled, so I never really had the opportunity to travel. So I was blessed with this opportunity. So I can kind of tell a story how that came about because, like I said, I was mostly on Twitter and I only got on Twitter because I wanted to help the campaign in many ways possible. And social media, influence social media is a very important part of that. So I developed a pretty big following very quickly, and that wasn't my plan, but it happened. And there was one comment that led to my travel. Kind of, I said I wanted to help Bernie out in South Carolina as much as I can because we knew that was a Joe Biden stronghold from the very beginning. So I said, I was like, hey man, I would love opportunity to quit my job and go to South Carolina. And when I said it, I wasn't expecting it. I'm very honest. I wasn't expecting anything. I was like, man, I just wish I had the opportunity to do that because I was selling cars and I've been doing that for like 3 years. The money was decent, but I was ready to quit because I was tired. I wanted to do something more than just making someone else money because that at the end of the day was
yeah,
what I
yeah.
was doing.
It's a grind
So
and it's a hustle, you know what I mean? And it's like, you always got to like worry about your next one. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I've been in those types of jobs before.
yeah, and we can talk about this a little bit later. But I never had plans to like kind of work with person. But I guess when you're younger, you're delusional. So I always want. So I was always looking for a way to kind of uh, fight for one of my passions. Like like I still have goals of sustaining myself through martial arts, and I uh, and obviously I got very into activism and politics. So I was like, if I can find a way to do this for a living, that would be great. So. Uh, then one of my great friends, a lot of people would know her. She's very popular on Twitter as well. Beth, she pretty much said, "Hey, set up the GoFundMe. We help you out." It was her and then Violet, and there was a few
Cool.
other friends I had on Twitter. And then I'm like, man, I was kind of apprehensive. But they're like, yeah, do it. So I'm like, I did it. And then the response to that was overwhelming. It was pretty crazy. So I raised enough to fund me going down to South Carolina. I went my job and I had a re-upload video I had when I pretty much was at the place right after I quit my job. 'Cause I was like, yo, this is a pretty big leap, but I was like, man, I had to get on the field, like you said, because I knew how important this moment is or was. And so I told people because my thing is I try to break people's grip on the establishment and their propaganda because there are a lot of people that are still loyal to the two-party system, the
Yeah.
two-party duopoly. And one thing that I had a lot of success with is talking to black people about because black people they like just hardcore support the corporate establishment and the black Democratic caucus, which has done nothing but sell our people out and sell out the communities. And it drives me crazy. Like I'm a big Barack Obama critic, not because I want to. I wish he was a great president, but he was unbelievable. I can't even put in words how destructive he has been, not for just black communities, but the working families in general.
Yeah, if you look
So
at the actual numbers, right? Yeah, you're absolutely right. The actual numbers tell the truth, right? Yeah.
yeah,
His
yes, but
words, he
and
sounds great. He speaks the magical language right there. But the thing is that when you look at the actual numbers, it's like, what the hell's going on?
yeah, man, and there was no one that wanted Obama to see more no one. But I am not a sheep. And the second I saw the red flags around Obama, I really was getting upset. And I was trying to raise red flags. And but there's such a culture of support for Barack Obama in the black community. It is hard to, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see people lose that valuable pin that they had. Because I remember I talked to my dad about Obama, and you gotta realize my dad grew up in Alabama in the '60s. He experienced hardcore racism his entire life. He told me the story how he was a manager at Wonder Bread, and there was managers that would call him nigger all the time.
I never
You
thought I'd
can't
see a
never.
black president in my lifetime. I was shocked. I
Yeah,
was
so
shocked. I never
yeah,
thought it
you
would
got
happen.
yes, you understand. So these are people that are who lived through racism their entire life, just like my dad. So then when Barack Obama got elected, they saw something they never ever believed they thought they was going to see a black president. So there is a level of loyalty there that I felt growing up, but there you can't describe from boomers. And what really hurt, what really hurts, is that Barack Obama managed to drag Black Americans back to the right because they're so loyal to him. So despite all the bad things that Barack Obama did, he was such an influential figure culturally that we that there are a lot of people that would turn a blind eye or they was just unwilling to look at the negatives to him. But it wasn't not necessarily their fault only because there's a lot of people who just don't know his record because the corporate media establishment covers for neoliberals like Joe Biden and Barack Obama. So when I talk to these people and I explain to them the record of Obama and how he destroyed black wealth and how he had a drone program that killed 10 times more people than George Bush did during his administration, they understand that he's bad, he's problematic, and they let him go. But it's a
You know,
tough conversation to
and
have.
I know we were talking earlier about like Martin Luther King and how you're a big fan. I'm a big fan too. But if you listen to Malcolm X many times talks about how black people in power are often used to like subjugate other black people. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
Yo, for real,
yes,
yeah. The house Negro, you know what I mean? Like often they're more cruel than the master is, you know what I mean? And
yes,
yeah,
yes.
so
He's
yeah.
right.
So for real, like yeah.
W.B. Du Bois had a great passage. There's I think it was named Socialism in the American Negro. That was the passage he wrote it in the 20s. And he talks about how he said how the black Negro once he established some wealth and power, he feels like they feel obligated to fight on behalf of the establishment because that he lays out how that makes them feel established in their power and there's always like this systematic push for them to turn against their class. So
Yeah.
you had W.B. Du Bois talk about that in the 20s, how you have black people in power who will sell out their class, and we had a culture that who pushes towards that, and that pretty much the entire Black Congressional Caucus. That's Barack Obama. That's
So do you
my
feel like this?
representative.
Yeah. Do you feel like this phenomenon is more prevalent in South Carolina than in Missouri, or do you feel like it's about the same? Or
No, dude, it's everywhere. This is a institutional problem of, and it's giant. This is something that most people don't talk about. This is my focus because I want to expose the corruption within the Black Congressional Caucus. Because you had Jim Clyburn, and a lot of people don't know that
oh
Jim
yeah, that guy's
Clyburn
horrible.
he wrecked our election because he has so much influence in South Carolina. People love him, but he took millions and millions of dollars in the pharmaceutical companies. If you look at campaign contributions, he's
Yeah.
among the most corporate Democrats in the Congress, and he was hardly against Medicare for all. So then people were surprised why he went out to Joe Biden. That was a given. But one thing that I didn't really expect, I can't believe how much influence he had. Because if you look at exit pollings, the exit polling showed that there was like 60% of voters that said they made their mind up because of Jim Clyburn endorsement in South Carolina. So I was down there for over a month, knocking on doors. I changed hearts and minds. I had a lot of people that, but unfortunately, I'm only one guy, so I can't reach everybody.
Yeah, I
But
feel you on that.
all
Yeah.
that was wiped out in just 1 week.
I, I,
one
I
week.
don't even know if we can really trust that, right? Because honestly, I feel like a lot of this, like, you know, I don't know how influential Clyburn really was. He may have been, like, significantly, you know, but not, I feel like the
Yeah,
media, mainstream media might be blowing his stuff out of proportion to make him look bigger than he is, to make him look
yeah.
more, to help
I
contribute
hear
to his, yeah.
I hear you, and I was actually, and that was my thought before I saw the exit polling. And if you want to make the argument that exit polling not accurate, that's fair. But I saw the exit polling, and that's why I
Yeah.
was like, what? Because I was shocked and blown away by it. Because you saw how Bernie Sanders got destroyed in South
And
Carolina.
that's another thing that I want us to do, right? I want us to be like more investigating these things. You know what I mean? Like they make all these claims and tell us why we lost. I don't believe your reasons and you telling me why I lost. I believe the people on the
That's fair.
ground. So someone like yourself who is actually on the ground, right? Like you might still have these people that you talk to in South Carolina. Like ask them if, right? Don't ask them to say like, do you think that because the mainstream media said Clyburn, like, did this really influence your decision on a personal level? Like, call some of those people back and be like, you know, you may still have them on your number from phone
Yeah,
banking. You know what I mean? Like, ask them for real. Like, let's find out for real. Not because the mainstream media tells us this crap. We know they're completely in bed with the corporations. I don't believe them. You know what I mean?
that's a great point. That's a
Yeah,
great point because that's a when they poll, they
yeah,
ask questions to and even they ask the question in a way that get the answer they want. For example.
Yeah, you
And
can
that's
you can call them back and find out for real. I'm always doing my
yeah,
own investigation. I never accept what they tell me because for
yeah,
my whole life they tell me Asian men have small dicks. They say Asian men are fucking whack. I never believe a goddamn thing they tell me. Hell no, I ain't believing nothing. You know what
that's
I
why
mean?
we gonna get
They
along
better
because
prove that shit. You
yeah, that's
gotta
why we gotta
prove
get
it.
along.
Yeah,
That's why we gotta get along because I had the same mindset because
yeah.
you never know. What if they ask that exit poll question, something like, "Hey, Jim Clyburn endorsed Joe Biden. Was that important to you?" Or what? Or they could ask that question in a
Yeah.
way that got that result. You
Let's
know what I
call some
mean?
people and find out how they really feel. You know what I mean? I want to really know. You know, I don't trust that they say that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? So the next question is, so I notice you have this word, the progressive martial artist. But the thing is that some people say, oh, you're a progressive, you're a fake progressive. What, for you, what is a progressive? Because that terminology I find is like quite confusing sometimes.
Progressive, just like liberal, just like Democrat, just like libertarian, just like conservative. The
Okay?
meaning of the actual what it means now is irrelevant and it's dead because what happened is you get a lot of bad actors who will they will co-opt.
Misuse, yeah, or
They
co-opt
will
or change
co-opt
it,
terms.
yeah.
So, for example, Nancy Pelosi calls herself a progressive.
Yeah,
so
right?
when
Yeah.
so when Nancy Pelosi calls herself progressive, you just kill what that word means.
Yo, for real, right?
So
I used to come from like, cause like you see, I'm DJ L7, right? Remember, like there was freaking country hip hop, and then what was it, rip rock, and then they try to like make hip hop everything. Everybody's trying to co-opt this stuff. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's
So
why it's
my
so
thing is,
confusing. What is a
so my thing,
progressive? You know what I mean? Yeah, cause
yeah.
it,
So
it
my thing
gets
is, I'm
yeah.
not too hung up on labels, but
I
but
like that. Yeah,
I don't hate labels though.
yeah,
So what the reason why I call myself a progressive because I'm using the actual term the right way. So when people like you ask me that question, I can explain that there's fake progressives like Nancy Pelosi. You know what
right.
I
So
mean?
people can get
So
an idea of what your channel's
so I
about,
don't.
though. Yeah. So if someone says yo, if someone says progressive, I know like it's probably talking to me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I
So
use the real definition. I'm not gonna let culture change the definition for me. So that's why I still call myself a progressive. And Nancy Pelosi want to call herself a progressive too. I'm gonna call her out and I'm gonna explain why she's not. But at the same time,
yeah.
like I said, I'm not too hung up on labels. So if you want to call me a libertarian left, if you want to call me a socialist, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If you think I'm a socialist, call me a socialist. If you think I'm a Marxist, call me a Marxist. I'm gonna
Yeah.
correct you, but I don't really care what you call me. That's why I say label. That's why I say I don't care about labels, but I don't run away from.
Yeah, yeah, because you know what? People will, if you're actually someone who's effective, people are going to start freaking trying to stick labels on you. You know what I mean? And then they'll use anything, like, like this whole Biden situation with the rape thing. It's so ridiculous, man. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm Me Too, right? But what does Me Too mean? Oh, Me Too means we gotta, we gotta vet
That
the,
this whole
vet the
thing with
accusations.
this
Yeah.
whole thing with Joe Biden and the Me Too thing, it just shows this is
The
one big
hypocrisy.
overarching theme of my ideology. I hate partisanship. I hate the two-party system. I hate the two-party duopoly because partisanship has literally rotted the brains of our society. Because you got people who will be blatant hypocrites, and it's so heavy that I don't even know they even realize they're doing it. Like it's so they are so openly hypocritical. I'm not just talking about Democrats, I'm talking about Republicans. So I'm talking about both sides because it's so hardcore hypocritical. For example, you had Trump people that they talk shit about Obama, and one thing they brought up, I literally seen it online. They were like, "Yeah, Obama, you guys, he drone strike people." I remember this is before Trump won, and then they talk about Obama drone strike, and I would agree with them because I hate Obama did drone strike as well. And then Trump got in office, and Trump started doing drone strike. Now it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That is one of many examples, and it drives me crazy. Just like this, and to me too. And this one thing I do on my Twitter all the time. I dig up old Brett Kavanaugh tweets that people had, and there was people that was heavily supporting Brett Kavanaugh that's now not supporting Tara Reid, even though Tara Reid has way more corroboration evidence. I'm not saying that Blasey Ford doesn't, because I believe her as well. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying that if you look at the amount of corroboration, Tara Reid has more than her. And you
Yeah.
got people who was all about believe women, and their tweets literally contradict themselves. And this is the direct result of partisanship, and that's why
Yeah.
I always focus on fighting that, and that's my main thing I want to spread awareness about is ending that two party duopoly and ending that way of thinking for people.
I'm gonna push it a little bit further and say not just partisanship, but it's also greed, self-interest, and cowardice. Hell yeah, you
Yes.
know what I mean? It's just straight cowardice. They afraid to tell the truth and they should get smacked. That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So let's go talk with the martial arts because it's hard for us to get afraid of something. You know what I mean? Like you won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think is really cool about progressive martial arts. So I wasn't sure if you was actually really into martial arts, but damn, you really are.
Oh
That's
yeah,
really
that's
cool,
my
man.
life.
Okay, what kind of
Yeah,
martial?
because
Yeah, you do
I'm
MMA, I
sorry.
guess. You an MMA
Yeah,
fan? Holy sh!
I was a boxer. I boxed my whole life. I don't
Okay.
have actually a lot of. I don't have a ton of combat experience. I have a few fights. That wasn't my focus. That wasn't like my main focus, but I've always been active in training. I was a coach at UMKC.
Oh
Uh, we
damn!
had
All right.
we had just it wasn't like a big formal position because you know how a lot of colleges have extracurricular activities,
Yeah.
and one of my friends he had a martial art club. I joined his martial art club, and then just because my skill, I became a teacher because
Nice.
one thing I really want to do, and one thing that I regret that I haven't in my last few years is fought because I'm very this thing I'm very cocky about is my martial ability, and
Damn. All right.
I can back it up because it's when you work as hard as I have on martial arts, I'm not gonna be
We'll talk about
mealy
that more
mouthed.
off. We'll talk about that more later because honestly, I'm a little bit into that stuff myself. I don't really like to
Yeah,
put that out there, but we're gonna talk about that later because we might like do a collab on my other channel. You know what I mean? Yeah, but
yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
cool.
I'm like that, yeah, and I like the fact that honestly, there's so many people in this movement that are always scared, that are always not really willing to do stuff. We need more people with that, that hardcore mentality to bring it to the game. So thank God there's a real, and the fact that you're martial artists, you ain't afraid of a fist coming at you, so you ain't gonna be afraid of them calling you names or something. You ready to fight that war, and we are so outnumbered, and by the money and all this crap, we need real warriors in the game. So I definitely look forward to working with you more. Hell yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I'm a big. I can end that part on this. That's why I'm a big advocate of martial arts because martial arts saved my life and it really gave me skills that helped me do things I never probably would have did before. Um, if you asked me as a kid, well, if you asked me if I would have been a car salesman, they were like, no way. I was a shy little fuck when I was a kid. And one thing that martial art did, it helped my self confidence. It helped my and when I went in coaching for the last few years,
Well, that
that
that kind of
really
yeah,
helped my
that kind
that
of
really
leads into
helped my
my next
self
question.
esteem.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
leads to my next question. So the thing is that look, there's a lot of other content creators out there: Jimmy Dore, Nico House, The Hill, Kim Iverson, all these other people, right? Combo Couch, Hardlands Media, right? What makes your voice unique? Why, when people tune into you, right? What's your unique perspective that they're gonna get from you that they won't get from these other content producers?
Well, my main thing I wanted to present current events and the perspective of a black man that grew up in Kansas City, because everyone has their own perspectives, and that's why my focus is on challenging the Black Congressional Caucus and challenging the Democratic Party from the left, because unfortunately there's a poison in our culture where if you have white progressives or hell even Asian progressives that challenge Black power, they immediately get deflected and they get talked down at to because they're not and this is how they use identity politics to show the establishment. So they were like, "Oh, you don't like Obama because you're a racist." This was they'll say this to white progressives, and I
Yeah,
talk to,
and
and
then
this is
white people
not
get
something I
shook and
meant.
they can't do nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, this
so
is
so yeah,
something I'm not making this. I literally talked to a ton of progressives that I knew
yeah,
that don't like Obama, who
yeah.
said they didn't feel like they could come out against him because every time they did, they said they was called racist or they were dismissed. So this is something I always talk to my black progressives to about because of this unfortunate cultural situation we're in. The mantle is on us. You know, and I think this is one reason why my Twitter account blew up because I'm a young black progressive that is challenging Obama and I'm challenging the black democratic system because you don't hear it a lot, but it's very, very powerful when it happened. And that kind of made me a ton of enemies and the more establishment minded Democrat. But like I said, I don't give a fuck because I'm
Hell
not
yeah,
looking to be on your team.
love that,
So
man. You,
that's why
yeah.
to
If you
answer
see
your
my
question
content, you'll
directly,
know I don't give a fuck. Hell yeah, I'm the same
yeah,
way, man.
and
We brothers,
yeah, and
basically. Yeah.
that's why that's to directly answer your question. That would make my voice unique because that's my perspective, and that's my goal to challenge power in my way that I have. And Jimmy Dore, he does great on foreign policy. I love Kyle Quincy when he talk about domestic policy. I'm a big fan of Mike Figueroa when it comes to left policy. And you mentioned a few other names there that I got a lot of respect for as well. Everyone brings their own unique perspective. I think this is the perspective that I have to bring to be effective. Because at the end of the day, I didn't get into it to become famous. It just kind of happened. It just kind of happened.
What are your plans for the future, man? Like, you have like are you doing like weekly uploads? Like, what's your plan for like the channel and just you yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever come out to New
Um,
York? You invited, man. You know what I mean? You got a friend down here now. You know what I mean?
yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good to hear, man. Same
No
here.
doubt, man. No
Here in
doubt.
the city.
Appreciate
But the
that.
main thing is,
Oh, I
like
can't come out there. I'll give you COVID, man. I can't come. But we're the
yeah,
epicenter for that. I just
I
can't. Yeah.
mentioned, yeah, I mentioned
Yeah.
COVID really derailed a lot of my plans because I had a lot of plans to travel. I was going to document my travel, talk about, and I still have plans to do it if I'm able to do that. The only thing you never know what the future holds, and I don't feel that the economy is going to be fucked here for a while, so you never know what's going to happen in the future. Like I said, this whole COVID thing derailed a lot of my plans. 'Cause I had a lot of my plans was about traveling and about being in the field and about protesting about and being like a citizen journalist. But because of COVID, that's not going to be a thing for at least over a year.
But
So now,
now that we're linking up, right? Now you got someone from New York who can bring you some news. You get what I mean? You got
yeah,
Lisa over there from LA who can bring you some news. So we're gonna expand this network out. You know what I mean? And we're gonna
exactly.
I got another meeting come up with what's his name, Big Talk, Little Talk, right? I should be doing an interview with him later this week. You know what I mean? So I'm really reaching out to all the content creators and citizen journalists like yourself. And I'm honestly most excited about someone like yourself who's on the come up. You know what I mean? Because honestly, like when you get in early, you know what I mean, you really establish those relationships that you can't really necessarily the authenticity is not really as obvious when someone already has like established platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually motivate me to look into some of those people. Maybe you should send me a link because I need to check some of these people out. Cause like I said, I'm still new on YouTube and that wasn't really a big focus. But I'm more than happy to look into those kind of people and see what kind of way we can hook up in that kind of stuff as
Yeah,
well. Because it's
absolutely,
good to
man.
have that circle. And I mentioned before when we talked before, I said we can't be divided and conquer, and that's one reason why the establishment won this time. So I think we need to move forward and we need to move together as a movement, as a different series of ideas. Because you got a different perspective as an Asian who lived in New York than me as a black guy who lived in Kansas City compared
Yeah.
to an LA Latino progressive. We all got different perspectives, and I think when we combine those,
I'm also a
we
20-year activist. I've been in the Green Party for 20 years fighting against democratic corruption. You know what I mean? So I
yeah,
definitely have like a lot of perspective to the game. And, the Asian thing, I've never really pushed that. You know what I mean? I guess I talk about it a little more today. But really, like, since America doesn't care about it, I don't really get to put that on the forefront. You know what I mean? So I usually just like throw it in the side. Nowadays I complain a little bit more about, but whatever. But honestly, the Taking Action Group, we meet every Sunday. I'd love to have you be part of that. But either way, whatever you have going, we will also support you. Like, our group is not about like pushing one candidate or one particular idea. It's just about like helping activism in general. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, we're just like a resource for that. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, yo, I want to like get this local legislation passed, right? Or there's something like there's a local candidate who needs some help, right? You might be able to find some other activists who are ready to make like some phone banking or things like that, or make things happen for you. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's great to have this kind of network for sure.
No doubt, man. Yo, thank you so much. And guys, he's gonna definitely, like, after this, he's gonna send me his Twitter links. His YouTube channel is definitely gonna be in the link below. You know what I mean? Is there any other way that you want people to contact you or make things happen?
Yeah, just keep subscribe to my YouTube channel, but I'm very active on Twitter as well. My Twitter handle FlyTideMMA. That's where I do a lot of my activity as well, and I'll be uploading on YouTube consistently. I'll try to get about 2-3 uploads a week. I'm gonna be trying to up in content up here very soon, so I appreciate the support.
No doubt, my man. It's really nice to meet you, and I'll probably get this up tonight, man. God bless, my brother.
Yeah, man, I had a good time with this conversation, bro. Take care, homie.
Thank you so much. Peace.
These videos are independently produced and funded, and your support is deeply appreciated. Liking the video and subscribing helps the channel, and ringing the bell icon will keep you notified as to when we upload new content. You can also check out our other social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. We also have our event calendar, links in the description. On our Reddit, you can come in and get on the conversation and check out some of the memes. Like and share, it really helps us in the YouTube algorithm. Every week on Sunday, we have a live online meeting where you can join us in working to create and nurture the change that we need. I'd like to invite you to check out some of our other videos. Until next time, may all your actions bring you success. Stay focused, stay strong, and reinvest in yourself as well as your community. Together our efforts can be greater than the sum of the parts. The power is in your hands. Thanks for watching.